I'm John Congdon.
I'm Tony Rucco.
I'm Rich Karuba.
Talk Bowling is proud to bring you the latest information from the bowling industry, bowling tips, and updates on the largest internet bowling website, bowlingball.com.
Happy 2011.
That's right.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
I can't believe it's 2011.
I can't either. It feels like mid-November to me.
Well, that's great.
I feel like time travel.
There
Time
you go.
travel.
That's right. All right, just a quick recap. Rich Karuba has been joining us on a few episodes of Talk Bowling. We appreciate it. He's battling a little cold, or maybe the Florida weather's getting to him, and he's fighting through. We're almost done with all of our pre-shooting. So we've been asking Rich some questions about some things from his bio, but on this episode I'm going to let it slide because the question of the episode may give us a couple extra minutes of content. So
It'll be fun.
we've been asked tons and tons and tons of times over the last couple months. So we decided to put it on there. I thought it'd be fun to put it on there with Rich here, since he's been around the industry for a while, bowled professionally. I'd like another opinion outside of just mine, which sometimes people agree with, sometimes they don't. But this question comes from CC Kaiser, and the question is, are you ever going to discuss washam? Should the houses that have them installed tell their bowlers they are rolling on cheater alleys?
WAHSAM, where all high scores are made.
And real quick, before we jump in, I'm just gonna make a general statement that they are USBC approved. When they are installed properly, and I guess you could say it left at the correct height or whatever you wanna say, they are approved by USBC. So it's not, no one's.
When you say they are, you're talking about the flat gutters.
Right, washam is it is a flat gutter product.
It's a flat gutter product. It's a system for adjusting the flat gutters to be more spontaneous.
Right, and before Rich and I and John get into the bowling side of it, I will also say that from a proprietor standpoint, I think it is a great thing. Because a proprietor's job in the industry today, my opinion, with the lane conditions that are out there, with the balls that are out there and all the technology, their job is to get high scores and get averages up. That's what bowlers want. Even morons like me that say high scores is sometimes a bad thing, no matter what, at the end of the day, I don't like shooting under an 80. If it's on a sports shot or something, I understand. But when I go and bowl house, on a house shot, I expect to have a big number. So from a proprietor standpoint, it's a good thing because it'll keep bowlers coming in. The new bowlers that come in, if they start to get an idea of what's going on, they'll score higher. So I do think it's a good thing from a proprietor standpoint.
Now, going even a step back from that, we're talking about flat gutters. Let's explain what those are.
Yeah, let Rich explain.
May not know what
Just
flat
give them a
gutter
quick
is.
definition.
Well,
of
yes,
flat
when
gutter.
you're pinned back by the pin deck, into the channels, there's a flat area, not on the round gutters, but it's a flat gutter area back by the pin deck. So unadjusted, the pins can tend to stay down in there longer and not jump back up on the pin deck and maybe kick out the 10 pin or the 7 pin or roll around and help with pin carry.
Right,
So the whole purpose of this system is to improve pin carry.
correct. Now,
The WAHSAM.
from a bowler's perspective, go ahead, Rich.
Well, you know, there's no doubt that proprietors know that high scores keeps people happy. It's interesting, though, to note that over the last 20 years, the average range, the median range of score for the average USBC sanctioned league bowler hasn't really changed much. So the average bowler, men score is somewhere around 168, 170, and for women, around 140. The point is that for the little bit more experienced and possibly more skilled players, the scores have gone up pretty dramatically. And that is because of the good lane surfaces,
Right.
the USBC blue oil pattern, for example, which is a typical house conditions. They can put a lot of oil in the center of the lane and it helps steer the ball to the pocket much more easily. The ball can hook back when you miss. And bowlers that line up right have an easier route to the pocket, and then these bowling balls that are manufactured today it's a combination of effects, have a good length potential, a good hook potential ratings, and you can choose the ball to match the oil pattern and the way you deliver it. So not only do you hit the pocket at the right angle of entry, and you maximize pin carry. And then if you take it a step further, and you allow the flat gutters to be elevated or become very bouncy, where there's a greater restitution property where the pin hits it, the flat gutter can flip up in the air and jump back on the pin deck, then you have the ultimate in pin carry capabilities, and that's what this system provides. So you can score some pretty astounding scores with this system. Now, if you were to ask me personally whether I like it
That's
or
what I
not,
wanna hear.
you wanna know?
I do.
What personally think?
Wait, before you say that, let me, in case they don't know, Rich was on the PBA tour from 71 to 81. So just as a little back, so his personal opinion is gonna come from his heyday of his bowling days as well. So now go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, you know, most of the places we bowled, there was just the introduction of synthetic lanes toward the end of my career. Most of it was the old wooden surfaces, and a lot of maintenance didn't go into taking care of the flat gutters and the pin decks. Sometimes the decks weren't level, there would be ski slopes and your ball would go airborne. Now you had rubber and plastic bowling balls, relatively inexpensively constructed compared to today's bowling balls.
Sure.
So the balls would deflect more and pin carry would be far less dramatic than it is today. So all that taken into effect, the scores were much lower for the average touring player. And then if they put a competitive US Open lane condition down, for example, many times the 200 average was enough, even on the Pro Bowlers Tour, to make the match play finals and continue on to give you a chance to win the title. I made television shows where I've averaged barely over 200 in a couple cases for the whole tournament, so scores were real low. But they still do the same thing today. They control the pace of scoring on the PBA tours. But when you add on top of the today, and you make these bumper bowling, I call it adult bumper bowling, and that's exactly what it is. You ever see them put those
Yep.
things up for the kids and they can bounce the ball? What do they call that?
Bumper bowling.
Bumper bowling. Well, it's kind of what it is with the pin carrier. The pins can bounce right out of the gutter and jump up on the pin decks. Hard to get tapped, isn't it? So, yeah, it's not an accurate reflection of what bowling traditionalists would think. And I'm a bowling traditionalist, so I personally wouldn't want to bowl on it all the time. Might be a novelty on occasion, but it would be interesting to see if the pros bowl on a real easy lane condition with that system, what the scores might average.
Well, even on their tougher patterns, most of the pros get to the pocket, and sometimes because of the angles they have to use to get to the pocket, you just accept the pin carry you're gonna have. There's just parts of the lane you're gonna play,
Sure.
and a flat 10 is just what you're gonna do, and so you'll see it all the time. They'll get to a part of the lane where they can leave themselves a makeable spare, and you add something like this into the mix, and now all of a sudden when you're playing, you know, 5th or 6th arrow, and you're normally just conceding a 10 pin, now you're gonna get these pins just bouncing all over the place.
Oh, boy.
To answer your question, I do think that proprietors should tell bowlers when they're bowling on washam. I don't know if anyone doesn't. I don't know of a place locally that has them, and I don't know if I was a proprietor, I wouldn't hide it, I would announce it if I was gonna go that route.
Well, why? Why would you announce it?
Well, because I do think for the entry level, I think for the earlier on bowlers, it's not a bad thing. It's gonna give them higher scores, it's gonna keep them interested in the sport. In the long run, we need interest in the sport.
But most people don't know what this is. They don't even know what the flat gutters are.
But it
so
should
why
still
would
be
they
out
care?
there, because if you're gonna put it there for the entry level bowler to keep them interested, I think the higher end bowler needs to know. I think they need to know. And personally, because I'm a little snobby, I guess, when it comes to this, I think the guy that should be averaging 170, that averages 200, needs to know he's not a 200 average bowler.
Right.
I agree it's good for the sport for him to be interested, but I still think he needs to know. As long as he accepts the fact that he knows he's a 170,
He'll
he's
know.
good with me.
He'll
But
know
if he's
it's not
bowling on walled up conditions with the best bowling balls we've ever seen, and now with trampolines and the flat gutters,
I love that analogy.
I mean,
I guess that's what it is.
what are you gonna do? So, there, you got my washam opinion.
You've been waiting a long time for it, because it's now 2011, I think you asked in 2008.
No, I haven't heard of him for that long. But I'm glad Rich got to comment on him too, because at least, you know, I mean, Rich was around when you had to make pure shots. I don't think you have to make pure shots anymore. I've gone entire seasons and not had a pure shot. I mean, in the air when he bowled, these guys were making fantastic shots to make TV shows, and just to average 200. And now I think we're taking that away.
Where all high scores are made.
There you go.
WAHSAM.
There you go. All right. We're also gonna talk about, in our Bullversity section of these episodes that we've been doing, we've covered all the skill levels. We've given a kind of an overview at the beginning, and we're also now gonna talk about the product informational articles that you write. And just a quick overview, how we do that. Some people ask for more of that because they are very brand loyal. Sometimes we have to be, we have to be Switzerland sometimes. We have to make sure we spread it out a little bit. We don't favor any one brand over another brand.
No.
So sometimes we can't bury you with Brunswick or Storm articles. And Rich always does a good job of trying to be very neutral. If we do write ball articles, we try and give the honest opinion. So
When we get some product articles by a variety of contributing writers, it isn't always the stuff that I do that's on our website. And what I do is I try to put my little spin on it and talk about how do you match it up for conditions and what it favors. Just talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to give you so much of the specification information about it. I like to talk in terms of two simple things to help everybody at any skill level understand and think about these bowling balls, and that is hook potential and length potential. Length potential is the ability of the ball to skid to a certain distance and go into its strongest roll pattern, and then hook potential from that point develop how sharp of an angle of entry the ball will approach the pocket. And because the ratings, the RG and the differential ratings of these bowling balls can vary to give us a variety of length potential, hook potential ratings, I think it's important to comment what the ball's ratings are enough for you to visualize the pattern you bowl on. One thing that I'm trying to do a few articles on is discuss the length of oil and the ratios of oil application to try to understand where the break point is. Years ago, Tony and John, the break point was only something we considered that the lane did. The break point was determined by the distance we oil and the cross-lane ratio of oil application. But now you have a break point. The bowling balls create their own break points. So the object is to try to match the break point of the ball to the lane and the right angle of entry down to the break point of the lane based upon the way you roll the ball and how the lane condition is. So there's a puzzle there. It's quite challenging. Takes a lot to understand. I just don't like to see people invest in a bowling ball that doesn't match up to what they really need. So in the articles, we try to just briefly hit on that.
Makes sense.
definitely. We've also been talking about some of our website features, and we thought we'd give you just a quick, we have a lot of features on the site on bowlingball.com that some of our customers don't know about, and we're constantly trying to do a better job of getting those out there and making sure everyone knows about everything we offer.
Which is very hard to do.
It is. We have a limited amount of space to do it in, and we have seconds to sometimes draw the customer in and show them what they want to see. But we do offer these things. So just so everyone knows, we offer ball weight, shoe size, glove sizing, I guess you could say sizing charts really. We have a section of the site where you can click. We'll show you US sizing charts for the shoe brands if you're interested in that. That's a big question. We'll show you, I think, information on ball weight. I mean, there are some standards. A lot of that comes down to other variables, but there are some standards on ball weight. We'll show you glove sizing and wrist support sizing information.
As best we can. I mean, it's
Right.
constantly changing.
Right, we try and give you, if we get information from your manufacturer, we try and pass it along to the customer.
I really think that men's and women's inch to size chart, that's a feature of these shoe sizes, is very useful because people will ask us, will I wear a certain kind of shoe size?
Right.
Excuse me, what size bowling shoe should I consider? And when you're gonna buy it online, you can't sit there and try several sizes on, so you wanna make sure you give it your best chance. Well, we also have a SureFit plan
Correct.
that helps, it's, I think, very modestly priced, and it allows you to return shoes and get another size if they don't fit. We want you to have a good pair of bowling shoes and a pair that fits. But I think the men's and women's Insta size chart is very reliable.
I think so too.
And going back to that SureFit plan, just real briefly, if you don't purchase the SureFit plan and you buy a pair of shoes and they don't fit, you're gonna have to pay to send those shoes back to us. And again, for us to ship you a second pair.
Correct.
So you're gonna end up spending probably $20 in just shipping charges back and forth. And our SureFit plan is $4.99 currently. So basically, you get the shoes, you try them on. If they don't fit, we'll send you a new pair of shoes and a call tag to send the other pair back.
Correct.
Most people that have been bowling for a while and understand certain models or brands of shoes and they're familiar with them, they just need to get a second pair or an updated pair. They're gonna be pretty familiar with what size to get, and these things run fairly true to form.
I agree.
Alrighty,
Sponsor.
this episode is brought to you by shoebuy.com. I feel like I've read these a couple times today.
You have.
Shoebuy.com is the world's largest site for shoes. They have over 750,000 products from 950 of the top name brands in all sizes, widths, and colors for men, women, teens, and children. Shoebuy.com customers enjoy free shipping both ways on U.S. orders. Talk Bowling viewers can save 10% on their purchase at shoebuy.com by entering the promotion code TALK during checkout. Help support us by supporting our affiliates.
There you go.
I was gonna say they don't charge you for a SureFit plan, but they also charge you more for shoes. But I probably shouldn't say that.
But now you have, so there you go.
They just build it into their price.
All right, if you need to contact us, you can contact us at questions@talkbowling.com. You can leave a comment on any of our episodes, or you can contact us on Twitter @talkbowling.
Anything else you wanna talk about?
Happy New Year, folks.
2011.
I got nothing else.
11. I don't know. In closing, please remember that bowlingball.com, I love making him look at me strangely. Please remember that bowlingball.com is free shipping on every item every day. No handling fees, no packaging fees, no added insurance fees. The price shown is the price you pay at checkout. No surprises. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks.
See you next time.
One more time.
One more time. Good. What's the next question?
Last one.
Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Unless there's a ball layout effect, what part